This is a lecture from Open Tuition. For the free lecture notes that go with this podcast, please visit opentuition.com.
Now let's look at part B. We're asked to evaluate time, scope, capability and readiness for change, these contextual features relating to Steel Town information technology or any strategic change proposed by the EA group. So it's the last piece of the scenario we're going to be looking at here. So remember what we had here was a council which had an IT department. The council wanted to outsource its IT department, so essentially that was transferred to a private group. And the private group wants to use this as almost the seed for the new venture of the company, where it wants to be winning more of these sort of public contracts, hoping that more and more councils are going to be outsourcing them because of governmental influence. So we are asked to look at the first one here, the time. How much time do they have in a way to, I suppose, get this right, really? And it says here that they have, of course, entered into a 10-year exclusive contract with Steel Town City Council, and the contract will be renegotiated after 5 years. So for this particular contract, the time is actually very generous. Nothing nasty is going to happen for 5 years. And we're able to actually put through quite a few potential changes in that sort of a time frame, and an awful lot of changes over 10 years. What might be worth just considering is, of course, it's not just the transformation of the Steel Town City Council IT department into a more market-orientated, private type business, and we have got 10 years in which kind of to do that. But we are presumably expected down here to deliver profitably solutions to other potential customers in the private sector, in the public sector. And with no real indication of how quickly the group wants Steel Town Information Technology to be managing to win other business. We know it's earning a modest profit of 5%, but I would have thought that they will not be content with just earning this modest profit of 5% for the next 10 years just by doing Steel Town City's work. So quite a lot of time for this contract, but we could maybe say, to make the whole division very profitable and to get it to win other contracts quickly or easily, it'll have to change fairly rapidly to something which is used to tendering for new work, pricing stuff, a more market-orientated sort of an outlook. Second one they want to look at is scope, and the scope is very considerable. We can have something which is a kind of realignment, or we can have scope which is a change which is more transformational. And here I think there is absolutely no doubt that this is absolutely transformational. We're going from a public sector organisation that's never really had to win business, that has people within it working there for many, many years, that has quite a powerful public sector trade union there, almost guaranteed jobs, I would have thought, in that sort of a situation. And now they are privatised. There will be more attention on costs and profit. There'll be, and what's particularly new for them, a lot of attention on revenue and winning new clients. And that is an absolute transformational stage or type of change. At least it's not big bang, at least it can be done incrementally. So perhaps we're looking at a kind of evolutionary change relatively longish time scale, but it is going to be a very fundamental change in the outlook and the attitude and maybe even the skills required of the people who work there. The third one we need to look at here is the capability of carrying through the change. And I would judge that the capability certainly of the people who had been employed by Steel Town City Council was very low. They've never had to compete, they've never had to put together a contract, a tender document. They've never had to go and negotiate with clients and so on. They've never probably had to go and maybe try to apologise for clients if something doesn't go well. And indeed it says here that they have got a very stable work environment here, and trade unions mounted a vigorous campaign. Employees were against it. They worked for the council for many years and experienced a stable work environment. And once you get into this kind of comfortable niche, this is the way we've always done it, type of mentality, then the capability to change can actually be very difficult, even with people who are willing. These people will not know anything about contract negotiation. So what they will have to do, I would have thought in this, is to use resources from the group, because the group now has quite a bit of experience in winning contracts. The group will also have experience in putting through change processes, at teaching people how to deal with perhaps a more competitive sort of environment. But I don't think these people will be able to do it on their own. It'll need input from the group to help them. And finally, we have got here the readiness for change. And I had earlier on identified that there had been considerable resistance to change there. This opposition hardened the council's resolve there, and so on. And what we had down here, if I can just find it here we are. The IT director and his deputy both vigorously oppose privatisation, so they're absolutely not for privatisation. They've not been transferred to the new company. They both took voluntary redundancy. So in a way we got rid of the two people who were going to offer most resistance to change. And there's some encouraging signs from those who are left here. One manager commented that although he was against outsourcing in principle, the sale had been agreed. Let's go for it, they say there. So I think maybe having had to put up with that transition, they might even decide they like it. Given the proper training and support, they maybe find it some more stimulating and invigorating, and at least they seem to be open to that idea. And there doesn't seem to have been any huge resistance mounted further down within the organisation. So some good signs there.